Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So last time we have started with this energy balance related to open system steady state. Are you listening to me? Kindly confirm one, two,
Yes,
student.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Yes, sir.
Right, thank you. So we started with this energy balance on open system. Before this, if I summarize, last time we discussed actually the general energy balance equation. That how you can use that or how that equation is similar to the material balance. Then after discussing the general balance, I told you that in such kind of equation or general equation, usually when you are applying it for like non-reactive system, you will just omit two terms, which was generation and another one was consumption. So overall,
Consumption.
I guess in material you are well aware about this, that what does generation and consumption mean. So that concept similarly can be applied to this energy balance, because in during reaction sometimes you have to provide the energy as well. During reaction sometimes energy is released, which we classify as like exothermic or endothermic reactions. So during this either like energy is generated or consumed. So because here we are dealing with only non-reactive system in this chapter, so you are not concerned about that. So after that we just looked at the equation for closed systems. So in closed system I started with closed system unsteady state, and unsteady state in which there is a change in amount of energy inside system, because closed system were those system in which there was no material stream inlet or outlet, just energy can exchange in the form of like heat or work. And in those system when there are the change in the content of in energy content of the system constituents, for example if there is any gas and its temperature is changing, or it's any energy like in the form of kinetic potential or internal energy, it can change. And then we said that that energy can be stored inside that, which we call it like in the form of accumulation. And input or output can be in the form of Q and W. And after that then we said that if we have closed system but still it is steady state, so in that case in steady state you know that there is no change in the amount, like for example here there is no change in the amount of energy. So that will become like accumulation is equal to only input minus output. And in closed system input and output is only in the form of Q and W, so your equation is just simplified as Q plus W is equal to 0. And they are very rare system in which you will apply such case, otherwise mostly they deal with like closed system unsteady state. Then after that I told you the more realistic system which you can observe in your practical life, they are related to open systems. And in open system the most frequent used are steady state open systems. We have just started with these. There were few terminologies before jumping to the equation. For these open system, I just started describing those terminologies, and we looked initially at what open systems are. Why do we need to study like these energy balance on open systems? Then how open system looks like the case which I already explained to you, this diagram in which I told you that there is some stream of water which is getting into the system, and inside this system overall boundary was like made in which there were four equipment inside this boundary. So there was pump, heat exchanger, there was some storage tank as well as turbine. So we said that we are not concerned about this what is going on inside. Just we were our concern was here that some stream is getting into the system as well as when it is leaving out of the system, so it will be carrying energy in the form of kinetic potential as well as internal energy, and similar will happen when it will be leaving out of the system. At the same time, definitely energy exchange can take place without involvement of material, and that is in the form of like work as well as heat. So this was already explained to you as well. Then I said that in these open systems their work takes place actually in different forms, and there are two different forms which we call it flow work and shaft work. And then we have discussed these diagrams that in shaft work actually there is some shaft which moves some part, and with the help of that part you just transfer some material, and when that material transfer is taking place, so then energy content change for that material. As well here in the flow work actually there is no rotating element, but there are some fluid streams which perform this work, and then we also derive the equation for this, that how to calculate flow work. Actually, in this chapter, most of the time, in these calculations, shaft work is directly provided to you. For example, any motor or turbine is performing this work. So most what you will be calculating is the flow work, and that can be calculated if you are provided with a system, pressure, and volume. So volumetric flow rate are in the form of volume. So this you have already seen that net flow work. Net mean in and out both. In, work into the system or work done on the system is taken as a positive, and work done by the system is taken as negative. So net flow work was this, like P in minus P out, V out. Up to here, yes, I think last time we have finished here. So if any question up to here, otherwise I'm just continuing with the next stuff. It seems no question, so let's look at this. What is specific property? Can anyone just define it? What does specific property mean? Anywhere you study this word or you read this word?
It's divided by mass.
Okay, good. Yeah, means any property, anything divided by mass, or you can say the amount, because sometimes we divide it by the mass, and sometimes you will see they are divided by the moles. So you can say any property divided by the amount, generally, if you define it. So for example, here before this, if you remember when we discussed, I think in the last or second last lecture, I told you there was definition of specific kinetic energy. So does anyone remember what was that specific kinetic energy?
Sir, 1/2 m, 1/2 v square.
Yeah, so simply that is as we are saying specific. So kinetic energy, it's mean kinetic energy divided by mass. And when you divide by the mass on the one side of the equation, you will definitely divide by the other side of equation. So mass will be just cancelled on the I should say right side of the equation. So it is left over is only 1/2 v square. So you are right. The specific kinetic energy is simply equal to 1/2 v square, because we have just divided the other side by mass. So similar, we already actually talked about these, that there was specific kinetic energy, specific potential energy. So same mean anywhere where there is a word specific property, so that's mean any quantity that is divided by the amount. That amount is like in the form of mass, or it can be as well, I told you, that in the form of moles. So these you already have seen, specific kinetic and specific potential energy, or another term you already know, that what we call it specific volume. So that's specific volume in volume divided by mass. And what is its relationship with the density?
Inverse
Sir, reciprocal of density.
Yeah, good. It is reciprocal of the density, and today we are going to talk about something called steam properties, and you will see that most of the calculation, maybe you are also performing those calculations in thermodynamics, so you will be using it a lot in case of like you are looking for density, and maybe for most of the cases density is not directly available. Sometimes density is calculated by using this specific volume. If you just reverse it, like take the inverse of this, it will give you the density as well. Sometimes we use some other ways, for example specific gravity, or mostly this is given in these two forms. Not directly, density is not available in literature, that is either in the form of like specific gravity, you can use that at specific condition, by the way, but specific volume, this is for most of the chemicals available in the form of tables. For example, mostly which you use here in calculations, that's for steam, water, so specific volume can be used, and you can find density by using that. So quickly, for example, here, if volume of a fluid is 200 cubic centimeter and mass of the fluid is 200 gram, so you can find quickly what is value of specific volume. So specific volume is simply volume divided by mass, so you can just calculate it, and its value will be like 1 cubic centimeter per gram. This term, I think, okay, already you have seen somewhere earlier when we studied closed system, that internal energy was all type of energies except kinetic and potential. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So here, if I ask you, okay, can you calculate specific internal energy? First of all, can anyone just tell me quickly what will be the formula for this?
Sir, internal energy divided by mass.
Yes, internal energy divided by mass. By the way, here many things you will be looking at earlier as we saw in the calculation of flow work are here. Most of the time we are talking about flow rate or per unit time actually. You know that in open system we say that these are the system in which material can flow in and out of the system. So when material flows in, you know, it will be flowing into with respect to the time. So most of the time here when you are dealing with the open system, you don't take just direct quantities. For example, this now specific internal energy we are reporting here in the form of specific internal energy per unit time. Sometime directly we will be writing it like a specific internal energy. For example, here as she told that specific internal energy is internal energy per unit mass. So if I report it instead of per unit mass flow rate. So if it becomes kg per second, then for this instead of u, maybe you will be writing it like u dot, and u dot mean like with respect to time, joule per second. So this always wherever you will see these specific properties, it is convention that they are mentioned with this symbol cap. As you can see here with the u cap, already you have seen ke cap and potential energy with this small cap. That is wherever it is written, it seems or it shows that this is specific property. So here if we have simple mass, then it will be like this property can unit sorry, internal energy divided by the mass, it will be specific internal energy. But if it is reported in the form of, as I told you, in the form of flow rate, if mass is in flow rate, so this will be internal energy per unit time. So later on when we are gonna use it in, I think in next equation, actually the things which we are discussing so far, which was like flow work or this internal energy, and in next I'm gonna talk about enthalpy. So all these quantities actually will be used or incorporated in the general equation for open systems. So due to this, before jumping to that final equation, I'm just defining these quantities or just refreshing you about those. What is enthalpy? Do you know its equation as well as some definition? I think you studied in thermodynamics. Yes, go ahead.
Delta H is equal to Q plus W.
Yeah, it's actually summation of something we call it internal energy plus flow work. So here if I define it simply, enthalpy, or if it is enthalpy, so it will be H is equal to U plus PV. But if we define it in the form of like specific property, then specific enthalpy can be written as like specific internal energy plus like flow work with the specific volume like PV. So you know that what does this U and V mean? They are specific properties, specific internal energy and specific volume, and P is pressure here in this equation. So quickly here just to utilize this equation, for example, if your question is the specific internal energy of helium, mean for helium you are provided with specific internal energy at 300 Kelvin and 1 atm, it is 3800 joule per mole. This is value of specific internal energy, that is internal energy, and per unit quantity, here quantity is represented in the form of mole because he is talking about the helium, and helium is a gas, and you know that most of the time when we do calculation of gases we talk about their main quantities in moles instead of mass. We prefer to use that. And the specific molar volume at specific same temperature and pressure, same temperature and pressure means 300 Kelvin and 1 atm. Specific volume is also given. So he said calculate the specific enthalpy of helium at this temperature and pressure. First of all, can you do this calculation of specific volume, specific enthalpy? And the second, before that, okay, and the second part is here, and the rate at which enthalpy is transported by a stream of helium at 300 Kelvin and 1 atm with a molar flow rate of 250 kilomole per hour. And in the second part, you are asked about finding like rate at which enthalpy is transported. It's mean enthalpy per unit time. You have to find H dot. So at the same conditions of temperature and pressure, and he told you something flow rate, molar flow rate. So can you solve this problem? So how you will proceed initially with the equation, he asked you to find first of all specific enthalpy. So you can use the equation provided here. So H cap is equal to U plus PV. So do you have these values U, PV? Hello, are you solving it?
Yes.
So look guys, here quickly, let's don't spend much time on this. I will just show you this calculation and kindly just solve it later on after the lecture. So you are provided with this specific and internal energy that was 3800 joule per mole. As well, PV pressure is here 1 atmospheric, so you can use that already given to you as well. What about specific volume? Yes, this is also provided. So here, in order to just calculate this, you have to make the unit consistent or same for both terms, because so that you can at the end of the day add them. So here I have provided you with the conversion factor, that you can use this conversion factor, and this appears or comes from actually the two values of R, gas constant, and if you take two different values, some of the units will cancel, and then they will provide you the conversion between joule to liter into ATM. So you can use this conversion factor 1.3 joule per liter per ATM, and at the end of the day you will find specific enthalpy. So next part was enthalpy per unit time or enthalpy rate. So in order to calculate enthalpy rate, what will be the equation here? Anyone?
T से डिवाइड करते हैं.
टाइम से किसको डिवाइड कर देंगे? टाइम गिवन है यहाँ पे.
इक्वेशन.
Which equation?
सर जो मोलर गिवन है उससे डिवाइड कर देंगे.
Okay, if you will divide, so what will happen? You will get it. So actually the formula is same we just studied. This any property which we call it, for example, this specific enthalpy. So specific enthalpy is equal to actually enthalpy over amount. So amount is here in kilomoles, so I will say this is enthalpy over moles. So because it is enthalpy per unit time which he has asked to calculate, divided by moles per unit time. So just take this moles per unit time from denominator to the other side of specific enthalpy, which you already have here. So specific enthalpy multiply this amount per unit time will give you actually H dot. So you are right. Okay, so H dot is equal to N dot multiply by specific enthalpy, which you just got it here, joule per mole. So just use it, and because that's in per unit mole, here you have something in kilomole which is provided in question, so just convert the unit and can solve it. So up to here we have actually discussed all those terminologies which will be needed here when you apply the balance on open system but steady state. So can you tell me what will be the general equation of energy balance? General equation in terms of that, like accumulation is equal to input minus output plus generation minus consumption. So for this system, what terms will be left over and which one will be like omitted?
Sir, accumulation is equals to input minus output plus generation minus consumption.
Okay. Then which one we have to omit? First of all, this is non-reactive system we are talking about, so generation and consumption are zero here. So now three terms are left. So still any other main term will cancel or will disappear, or all those three will be here?
Accumulation.
Accumulation zero. Why?
The steady state है ना इसलिए.
Steady state.
Yeah, good. So it's simple one. Mean input minus output is equal to zero. Generation and consumption already omitted because this is not reactive system. As well, accumulation will become zero. The reason is we are going to discuss here steady state. Although it is open system, material can flow in, can leave, but with respect to the energy, it is like a steady state system here. So your leftover equation is simply input minus output is equal to zero. So input, simply you can write like input is equal to output. So okay, this is open system. Can you tell me in which forms energy can get in or out of the system? Can you name those forms?
Sir, work and heat, kinetic energy,
Work, heat, kinetic energy, other,
potential energy.
Potential and internal.
and internal energy. Yes, good. So if you just compare this system with the system of closed system, in closed system there were only two forms of energy transfer. They were Q and W. So they will be here as I presented to you one diagram in the start of this lecture. So in that diagram you can see that energy can get in the form of Q and W, but as well as because material is flowing into the system, so that will be definitely carrying some kinetic, potential and internal energy. As well, if material is leaving, so it depends either at the same time stream is getting in and out or only getting in, but in open system here which we are discussing, they are getting in as well as out, because this is steady state. In this there is no accumulation of material, no accumulation of energy, so material gets in as well as leave. So as well energy gets in the form of these three forms which are carried with the material, like kinetic, potential and internal energy, and there will be energy exchange in the form of heat and work. And the similar can be applied for output. So it's also provided to you here, like input here signifies the total rate of transport of three forms of energy which are carried with the material, which is kinetic, potential and internal, by all input stream. Maybe if there is only one input stream, so that will be carrying. If there are more than one input stream, definitely we will add all them up, plus the rate at which energy is transferred in the form of heat and work. And the similar applies for output. For output, these all five will apply. So if I just write them in the form of like some general equation in which I put it like input as well as output, so I can write this equation. So in this equation, I mentioned only here Q plus W plus energy input in all three forms. This EJ general, mean J for any stream. For example, you can say X, Y, Z, any mean of these alphabet you can use. So EJ mean energy of any J stream, and that is equal to energy in the form of output stream. By the way, we didn't write here Q plus W. Will it appear also in the Q plus W on output side? It should be there, I think. What do you say? Hello? Can anyone? It should be there or
Yes,
not?
sir.
Why Q plus W is not available on output side?
सर बिकॉज क्यू का मतलब है क्यू इनपुट माइनस आउटपुट एंड वर्क का भी मतलब है इनपुट माइनस
Good. Yes, Jawad, you are right. So it's mean actually here, as already earlier told you, even when we discussed the closed system, guys, that Q, actually this is net Q. Net Q mean input and output both. If there will be input, definitely that will be counted, otherwise that term will be zero. As well, output, if it is there, it will be counted, otherwise zero. So it is only presented with one. Either you write it on the input side, output side, there is no difference. As well, for work, we also write it in the form of like work. Work is here total work, that is net work. It will involve actually here the both flow work, shaft work and input output both are considered here in this term. Due to this we are not repeating it. So right, so we can just rearrange this equation somehow, like we take this energy stream, energy which is in the form of kinetic, potential and internal energy, which is represented here with general term E. So we can rearrange it like output minus input. Means sum. This is sum of all input streams. Summation, you know that if it is only one stream, so summation will not apply, but if there are more than one streams, so we have to add their energy for input streams as well as for output streams. So that's equal to Q plus W. So if we just expand it further, so this EJ either in the form of input or output. I told you that this is energy. Last time also we discussed in closed system that this is sum of three energies. They are kinetic, potential and internal energy. So here, by the way, I'm using always here in these equation rates. When I put here dot, that's mean rate with respect to time. And why I told you that in open system, because we usually deal with the flow rates, so all these quantities will be involving something per unit time. So if in your question it only involves like simple quantities, that's not talking about the flow rate, so you can just omit this dot and the equation will be same equation can be applied. So here rate of energy input is in three forms: internal, kinetic, and potential. So you can just put these values there in the equation of E. So if I just replace this U, internal energy, actually I want to bring it in the form of something mass. So that can be written like you just studied few minutes back. This rate of internal energy is equal to mass flow rate multiplied by specific internal energy. So we can replace with U dot with that mj uj plus kinetic energy, 1 over 2 mv square. So v here he is represented with the in the form of U, but this is velocity, no need to get confused, plus gh, that mgh. So here in this book actually he is using this terminology z in the form of length, like, or height. So you can just take mass common here, and same will apply for like same equation, which is energy input as well as for output stream. So I can just put it these values here in this equation which we just saw, like energy of output streams minus energy of input stream. Let's put it here in this equation. Okay, before that there is another terminology, that work. As I told you that in these open system, the work mean two terms here. One was shaft work and other was flow work. So this formula, some formula is given here for flow work, because for flow work you already know that flow work is equal to PV. Can I also expand this equation in the form of mass? Can I introduce the mass terminology in this flow work? Anyone of you can tell me?
सर वॉल्यूम को अगर डेंसिटी से रिप्लेस कर दें, यानी डेंसिटी इनटू m से.
Okay, instead of replacing it with the density, yes, you are right, but I would like to just replace it with a specific volume. So yes, good. So we can just replace this volume with the mass multiplied by specific volume. So that's same thing, because you know that volume is equal to mass per unit density. So I just instead of 1 over density, I would like to write specific volume. So this equation will just change to the PM V specific for output input streams minus PMV specific for output streams. So you know that he has taken here input stream as a positive and output stream work as a negative, because you already remember that work done on the system, because input streams actually do work on the system, they are getting into the system. So that is positive, and it is negative when it is work done by the system, leaving out of the system. So that's this equation can be modified, and I can further write the final equation of work that will be equal to work here is equal to shaft work plus flow work. So flow work, shaft work is simply directly write as a simple shaft work. Flow work is written in the form of this, in the form of P and V. So you can write here the final equation for work. W dot is equal to shaft work plus flow work. So flow work here is in the form of P, V and M. So as I told you that we can just replace that equation, and why I'm just replacing it, because at the end of the day I have to combine some terminologies. So I am introducing this flow work in the form of mass. So overall up to here you have just expanded this energy term as well as the work term. So we can put these values of work and energy terminologies in the equation which was available on the previous page. So that equation was energy, or summation of energy of output stream minus summation of energies of input stream, is equal to, that was Q plus W. And when you will replace W with the shaft work as well as flow work, so there will be something else after this, which will be like this summation MPV minus this summation MPV. So what we want to do, we want to actually combine the internal energy and flow work, so that later on we can introduce H in the equation. So you will take this part of flow work which was available on the right side of the equation. I have just taken it to the left side of the equation and have taken M common out of 3 energies. So this point is clear to you guys. If anyone has any confusion here, let me know in this equation from where it came. Although I have explained, but still, if there is any confusion, just tell me. No, okay, fine. So in this equation, guys, you can see that there is something called U plus PV. So what is this U plus PV? You already studied.
Enthalpy.
Yeah, I can replace this internal energy plus flow work with enthalpy, just good. So it will be just reduced to the further form, like we can replace this U plus PV with the enthalpy. So it is enthalpy plus like this kinetic energy part plus this potential energy part, and similar for input stream is equal to Q plus WS. So next here overall you can still open this equation further. For example, if I just open this bracket, so it will be the sum of energies in the form of enthalpy plus like m v square over 2 plus this mg and z. Similarly for input stream. So overall you can see that there are some same terminologies which are, for example, for enthalpy of output streams minus enthalpy of input stream. Similarly, and kinetic energy of output stream minus kinetic energy of input stream. If I just open these brackets, so they will be all negative here. And then there is potential energy of output streams minus potential energy of input stream. So we can just put it in the form of delta or change. If we just take the difference between these output streams minus input streams energies. Wait a minute, please. Just let me finish it and I'll come back to this point if you have any question. So this delta H is equal to simply like MH in the form of output streams minus MH of input streams. So that is equal to, we can write it in the form of delta H, and delta H means sum of energy in the form of enthalpy for output streams minus input stream, and similarly for kinetic potential energy. So you can just write final equation which will be like delta H plus kinetic energy change plus potential energy change, that will be equal to heat either input or output plus shaft work done by the system or done on the system. So this is just final equation when you have to apply energy balance on open system, and if it is steady state. If it is unsteady state, we will talk about this later in next lecture. So this is the general equation. Yes, go ahead, the boy who was asking something.
सर समझ आ गई है इक्वेशन की.
Right, okay, thank you. So any other one, anything else if you don't understand here, please. So yeah, at least I will advise you that later on just write the equation, start from the first point and kindly derive it in your notebook, so that every term is clear to you. Because in some time you can be asked to just making some small changes, so maybe you have to derive an equation, and finally after deriving the equation then solve the problem. So in those cases you should be able to how we have to proceed. Right, this equation is clear. So now I think in next we have to apply this equation, which is the general equation for open system. Okay, I would like to again emphasize on one point here. If I just go back from where I started, guys, look here, I told you that when we have open system there is no accumulation, so input is equal to output. These are those systems, for example, there is a one reactor in which reactants are getting in, but okay, for example, just leave it because you are not talking about generation consumption term. Okay, there is some distillation column. In distillation column, the feed comes in and then it is separated into the two, or for example, just consider it into the two stream. One leaves from the top of the distillation column and second leaves from the bottom of the distillation column. So here this is like steady state system, there is no accumulation, because in such kind of systems feed get in and it is separated into two streams and just leaving from the system. So there is no accumulation of material, and when there is no accumulation of material, at the same time there is no accumulation of energy in these systems. Later on in next lecture, when I explain to you the unsteady state system, I will show you how energy accumulation is taking place there. So in this system, when you write this general equation that how energy can get in or out, so we wrote here something, you see that energy of input streams, we didn't say something which is available inside the system. because later on when I have to talk about the unsteady state system, so there will be then these terminologies will be coming in definitely, because in unsteady open system, streams get in, as well as change takes place inside the content of the system, energy change inside the contents. But here in this lecture, in this system, we are just looking at energy coming into the system with the streams, as well as leaving out of the system along with those streams. So, and in as well as in the form of Q plus W. So all these are, I mean, just we have to take care of these here. Later on in unsteady state system, there are some changes in equation we will discuss next time. So okay, if equation is clear to you, let's apply it quickly to solve I think one or two problems, and then we will jump to something next here. So before that, here 500 kilogram per hour of steam drives a turbine. Overall what is given here is the flow rate of steam. So, and steam flow rate is 500 kilogram per hour, and you know that turbine is something which is just rotated or moved with the help of steam. So steam come in and it drives the turbine. So next, the steam enters the turbine at a 44 atm, like steam which is entering here, this flow rate is given 500 kg per hour. Its conditions are given that this is entering into the system at 44 atmospheric and 450 degrees centigrade at a linear velocity of 60 meter per second. This is about inlet condition, that steam gets into the turbine at this temperature, pressure and velocity, and its flow rate is 500 kg per hour, and leaves, this steam leaves at a 0.5 meter below the turbine inlet at atmospheric pressure and a velocity of 360 meter per second. So it leaves out of the system, as you can see in this diagram. That's leaving point is 5 meter below the inlet point. So, and its velocity has changed, that's like 360 meter per second, as well as it is leaving at atmospheric pressure 1 atm. These conditions are also given. So turbine delivers shaft work at the rate of 70 kilowatt. Turbine delivers. So what does this mean? Either this work is positive or negative. What is your system here, by the way? Anyone? In this question, turbine is your system, guys. So when you are looking at this turbine as your system, so turbine is delivering the work, so it will be like negative, because work done by the system. Yes, so when work done by the system, so that is negative. So here 70 kilowatt will be negative, and the heat loss from the turbine is estimated to be 10^4 kilocalories per hour. Because this steam is at high temperature, you can see 450 degrees C, and it will be there in like along with in its surrounding. There is a okay, wait a minute. So guys, here because turbine is available in, for example, at room temperature, so inside that there is a steam which is at high temperature, so definitely outside there is low temperature, so some heat is lost from there, and when heat is lost from this turbine, which was our system, so that will also be with the negative value. And he asks you finally to calculate the specific enthalpy change associated with the process. Calculate specific enthalpy change associated with this process. So how will you proceed with this question? First of all, if you don't know, although it appeared just after the section of open steady state, so if it was not like this, for example, if diagram was not there, so how will you start me initially, or how you will consider either it is open system, closed system, or what this is? Asking you, can anyone answer? Hey, are you listening to me? So either it is open system or closed, first of all, this question. Are you here? This is closed system or open system. Someone answered, but I can't hear you. Okay. It is closed system. How?
Open system.
Open system.
Sir, open system है.
How? Because someone is saying closed, so how it's closed? Baki, all those who are saying open, can you tell me? Because some stream is getting into the system. Guys, look at the material stream, which is steam here. That is material stream, and that is coming into the system, as well as if he didn't mention, but in the question, although as I said, if diagram was missing, still you can read some word. He said leaves at a 0.5 meter below. So he didn't say here anything like 500 came in and left out was 450, nothing like that. So it's mean already he just mentioned inlet flow rate, as well as he said that this stream leaves out of the system. So it's mean it will be leaving the same amount which came in. So in and out will be equal, and this is open system, as well as then it will be steady state, because here nothing is mentioned like 500 came in and 450 is going out of the system. Or maybe he didn't say something like 500 kilogram per hour of steam came into the turbine and nothing leaves out. Definitely steam came in, will be leaving out of the system. So this is steady state. So overall, this steady state open system in that category. So right, in order to solve this, what will be your equation first of all? So I have just drawn a general diagram for you. For example, steam which is getting in, its flow rate, temperature, pressure is given, as well as velocity, as well as steam which is leaving out of the system. These two are material streams. As well, there is a stream in the form of work and as well as heat. So they are also mentioned, like because work was done by the system, as well as this heat was lost from the system, and your system already told you that that is turbine. So and this leaves 5 meters below the surface. So that's mean at the end he asked you, actually this was based on all the data which was provided in the question, and at the end he asked you to calculate change in the specific enthalpy. So in order to find this change in the specific enthalpy, you know that we should have something called change in enthalpy and flow rate. So flow rate we have here, but we don't have like change in enthalpy per unit time, but that change in enthalpy per unit time you can find with the help of energy balance equation. So this is your general energy balance equation, which you already just derived in the last slide. So del H is equal plus del K plus del P was equal to Q plus WS. So in this equation, how many terminologies you already know, or how many we have to find? For example, del H dot we are looking for. What about others? Is there any change in kinetic energy and it is provided or not?
यस सर, काइनेटिक एनर्जी में चेंज होगा क्योंकि स्पीड चेंज हो रही है.
Because velocity change, good. So what about potential energy? Will it change?
यस सर, क्योंकि 5 मीटर
Sir,
हाइट
height.
हो रही है.
Yeah, good. Height change is taking place. So it means we can't omit these terminologies from this equation. We have to calculate, although this value is not given, but some information is given. Okay, right. What about Q? Net Q
Yes, sir.
is only one value because that is last. Yes, good. So it is one value is already given, 10 to the 4. And what about shaft work? This is also done by the turbine. So all those problems which involve like these turbine generator, these systems, so definitely they will involve some shaft work. So it will also be there. So let's move now for its solution. You have to calculate del H, del K, and del P. So let's start with this. Sorry, del H we are looking for, del K and del P. So let's calculate first one, which is like change in kinetic energy. And you just studied that this change in kinetic energy is equal to kinetic energy of output streams minus kinetic energy of input streams. And for output streams, I have already, like here for input stream, I have mentioned this like in the form of 1, and output are mentioned in the form of 2. So here, so this kinetic energy change is equal to 1 over 2 mv2 square minus v1 square. And we can just convert the units here. For mass, it was actually kilogram per hour. Why I'm converting? Because later on I will need to do this conversion, because velocity is in the form of meter per second. So in order to proceed with that, you will just calculate this change in kinetic energy. So that can be calculated here. Already you have converted the mass, so it is 1 over 2 m mass flow rate kg per second, and velocities were given both 360 square minus 60 square, and this is meter square per second square. And by the way, after this, like, you will get the units kg meter square per second cube. But you know, later on when you have to put all these values in this equation, the unit should be somehow consistent. So it's better to use some familiar units, which was here. One was in kilowatt, other value is already given in kilocalories per hour. So it will be better to go for kilowatt. That's for SI unit. So I did just here some conversion, like by using this G sub C, or 1 Newton is equal to 1 kg meter per second square. So because I was looking for something to cancel these kg meter and second square, I think it's pretty straightforward for you. So just use it, and then later on you know that Newton meter is equal to joule, and then joule per second is actually equal to watt. But here I'm using 1000 because I'm looking for 1 kilowatt answer. So you can see that you are done with this. Change in kinetic energy is 8.75 kilowatt. So clear? If any question, let me know here.
सर जो काइनेटिक एनर्जी होगी और जो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी होगी उसको हम बेसिकली जीसी से डिवाइड कर रहे हैं ना यूनिट कंसिस्टेंसी के लिए.
Actually, when I taught you already this topic, what we are doing here, definitely we involve G sub C, but because that's something very confusing stuff. So what I asked you guys to just remember something, what 1 Newton is equal to. You know that 1 Newton is equal to, this is somehow we can say this is conversion factor, that 1 Newton is equal to kg meter per second square. Do you remember this?
Yes sir. Sir,
and the other side, okay, wait a minute, and on the other side 1 pound force is equal to, simply that is not equal to 1 pound force is equal to 32.2. then there is like pound mass hit per second square. Actually inside that value like is not similar. Its definition is like 1 pound force is equal to 32.2 pound mass fit per second square. So I think if you can remember in the form of G sub C, it's go better, you just go with that. Otherwise you can call it is just simple conversion factor between the units of force. And what are those units? One is called derived unit, Newton for example, or pound force, this is derived unit, and other are like these are base unit. Like 1 Newton which is derived unit is equal to kg meter per second square. That is something we call it like as a base unit. So while you will look at the other, right, pound force is equal to 32.2 pound mass fit per second square. So pound force is derived unit divided by like that one, other is something base unit. So I'm using just that one here. But really, I always myself don't remember what G sub C is exactly equal to. Sometimes I remember that it is like, I'm just confused. Either it is derived unit over, I think, base unit over derived unit. Can you tell if you remember?
Sir, GC basically 32.2 LBFT over LBF second square होता है ना, मतलब English units के लिए अगर हम लें.
Actually, that's something really difficult for me to remember. What I am saying as, just remember 1 Newton is equal to kg meter per second square. Is it difficult to remember?
नो सर वो जब हमने थर्मोडायनेमिक्स में एनर्जी बैलेंस पढ़ा था तो उसके अंदर जीसी उन्होंने मेंशन किया हुआ था, तो फिर इसलिए वो मैं आपसे पूछ
that
रही
was
थी।
also exactly that same thing here we are using. Actually, if you just remember that value, actually we are doing that same thing here. We are just dividing by that value actually. Okay. So
Okay,
just fine actually, yes, but if your units are not in Newton or this stuff SI, if they are in like this pound force, then that is equal to 1 pound force is actually equal to 32.2 pound mass fit per second square. That changed actually, and we already studied this in stoichiometry 1 at that time. I mean the same thing is being used there. So that's this conversion is actually overall you see here when I wrote this Newton second square kg meter, that is equal to I think something called G sub C. Okay, as well in other unit definitely 32.2 will come here.
okay sir.
It's clear here. So next next term which was to be evaluated, that was change in potential energy, and that is equal to like mg into change in the height. So m already you know, mass flow rate, g already know. And what about this height, by the way? Why I wrote here -5 -0? Anyone? Just go back to the diagram and guys
Living
look.
below.
Yeah, because he said it is leaving below its entrance point. So always you know that this entrance point is some reference point, and that value I'm just taking as a 0 reference point. So if something goes up and then leaves, definitely you take it as a positive value. If you just can draw the like coordinates and you guys see that somewhere below the 0, we take it as a negative value, and above that I mean abscissa point or that origin point inside that is 0 0. So above that anything is a positive, because this point my reference point which is inlet point, that is like 0. So any height that will be like h1, and after that change is on negative side because it is just going down at that point. So based on that we will just take it as a -5 there. H2 is -5 minus 0, this is minus of formula, and h1 is 0, that entrance point reference point, and that's in the meter. And same conversion is again applied here, like Newton equivalent to kg meter per second square, and then Newton meter is joule, and then joule per second to the kilowatt, 1000 joule per per second something. So this is value of change in potential energy. You guys can see, although this is very small value, based on that in many of the application later on you will see that we usually ignore this like very small changes, but here okay, let's consider it, we have calculated. But just I'm telling you that this value is very small, you can see. So let's convert the unit of finally Q. Why I'm converting? Because that was given in the form of kilocalories per hour. So either you should have all other units in this unit system, otherwise because you have calculated two other values in kilowatts, it's better to bring it also to the kilowatt so that you can easily put the values and solve it in one step. So that's kilocalories to the joule. There is a conversion, you know, you can use conversion table and can do this conversion. And finally joule per second is watt, and 1000 joule per second is 1 kilowatt. So you will be calculating Q, and when Q is done, so just up to here I think you are done with all four quantities you have. So just fifth quantity, which was change in enthalpy, you were supposed to find. So that is equal to Q plus Ws minus change in kinetic and potential energy. Just put the values here in the equation and you are done with this. So finally your value is like, okay, Q was there, here you have just converted -11.6 plus this formula, and Ws shaft work that is delivered by the system. Due to this I have put here as a -70 minus of formula and change in kinetic energy, that was 8.75. Then minus here I think there is some mistake. So I see here like, yeah, this is minus of formula, and you see here we just calculated change in potential energy. Sorry guys, just put it here another negative, and this negative and negative will become positive, and you will get the answer. That's here. So still you have calculated change in enthalpy per unit time, but not specific enthalpy. So specific enthalpy or change in specific enthalpy was equal to change in enthalpy per unit mass. So that is mass flow rate, so it will be enthalpy rate change in, and this kilowatt you know that is actually kilojoule per second, so that's in the form of rate. So just put it here and divide it by the mass flow rate, and you will reach to your stuff which is asked is what is change in specific enthalpy per unit mass. Sorry, change in specific enthalpy, or we will say change in enthalpy per unit mass, the same thing. So done up to here. Any question? Guys, if something is not clear here, let me know. Otherwise, this is pretty straightforward. I think very easy for you guys, at least at this stage. Right, can I jump to next? So let's quickly solve this problem, then we will take a short break, and after that we will continue with the next stuff. So that's the application of same equation we just discussed. So in this equation here, let's see what is given. So two streams of water are mixed to form the feed to the boiler. To boiler we have to provide the water, and he makes two streams of water, because you know boiler is the equipment which is used to produce steam. So for this, to produce steam, we will be adding water inside that, and here are the process streams which are getting into the boiler. And for that, he has provided at these conditions. For first stream's condition is mass flow rate is 120 kg per minute, and it is available at 30 degrees C. As well, for stream 2, we also have its flow rate and temperature. This is mentioned. So for boiler pressure, so for this boiler pressure, boiler pressure means the pressure at which boiler is operating, or boiler is producing the steam. So that is equal to 17 bar absolute. This absolute pressure is given for boiler that is producing steam at this pressure. So steam emerges from the boiler through a 6 centimeter internal dia pipe. So steam emerges from the boiler. Emerges means just leaves out of the boiler, and that's pipe dimensions are given. Calculate the required heat input to the boiler in kilojoule per minute. You know that in order to produce this steam, guys, to boil the water, you need heat. So that heat is provided here in the boiler by, for example, providing like some stream which is at high temperature, by burning the fuel, by heating with the help of electricity. So actually we are not concerned about the source here, only the concern is to find the amount of heat input to the boiler. If the emerging steam is saturated at the boiler pressure, emerging steam which is coming out of the boiler, that is saturated, not superheated. And I hope you know this concept, though I will go through this quickly today, what is saturated and superheated steam. So at the end he said, neglect the kinetic energy of liquid inlet streams. Liquid inlet, which is water streams getting into the system, we have to neglect their kinetic energy only for inlet streams. He didn't talk about outlet, so only inlet. And specific volume of the steam at its given conditions, that is 0.1166 cubic meters per kg. So this diagram is provided to you here in this question. Also in this you can see that flow rate, and at this given temperature we can find the enthalpy of water, that at this temperature what will be the enthalpy of water, which is given here to you. As well, for other steam at the given temperature it is given, and for steam which is produced, so that's like here pressure is given, which was 17 bar, and at 17 bar, because he said saturated steam is there, so we can look that what will be its temperature at this pressure and its specific enthalpy. So just solve it quickly, please. Are you solving? Okay, I think I should mark attendance by calling the roll numbers. Is it okay? Hey guys.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Tala, I think you were around. Guys, till then just solve that problem. Did you know, just note down these conditions quickly, please, so that I can just display the Excel sheet here. So please just note down these conditions and try to solve this problem. Meanwhile, I will mark the attendance. So just note down what are enthalpies here for inlet streams as well as flow rates. Quickly note down, please. Done. I think you are done. Inlet is 120 and 30 degrees C and its enthalpy. Quickly just write it. By the way, there were 47 students. Let me download this one too. Okay. So noted, hope so. Okay, right. Roll number one. Roll number one. Anyone there? I will just call 2 times.
Present.
Please respond. Who is there? I mean, your name?
Sir, Zoriz, Z-O-R-I-Z.
Okay. Roll number 2. Anyone? 2. 3. 2 is not there. 3.
Present, sir.
4. 4.